cutting of the education budget down. Down. Down with the cutting of the number of teachers down. Amandla. Molweni kunjani? I'm not here to speak for long. Let me tell you something. Now I always like to remind people, my mother was a cashier. She grew up under apartheid, and under apartheid she could not be able to go to school. When 1994 came and her children could go to school, she said, I want my children to be better than the apartheid I grew up under. That is my mother's dream. That is the dream of every mother in this country. Yes. They want their children to be better than them. Akekho umzali ovukekuseni athi I want my children to be worse than me. All mothers, all fathers want their children to be better. Yes. Well, you tell me, how do your children become better when they can't get educated in this country? You tell me how your children become better when they go to a classroom and instead of having 30 children, they have 60 children, and in other schools they end up with 90 children.
Yes, yes.
That's what's going to happen if you cut the funding for teachers. You will have classrooms of up to 90. In other provinces, they're already cutting school feeding programs because the department is cutting money to education.
Yes.
You tell me how our children will get better when ultimately in their classes, in all the schools, we are finding ourselves saying to ourselves, only you can get attention in the classroom and you can't get attention in the classroom.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. My first job was a teacher. I spent time in the classroom. I know what it's like when you are trying to teach and there are a few children, and I know what it's like when you are trying to teach, there are many children. Because teachers aren't just people who transmit knowledge. They become nurses to the child who's not feeling well. They become the mother to the child whose social conditions are difficult. That's what our teachers are. And today on World Teachers Day, we say our teachers are powerful, but they are not powerful enough to fight against the system that will work against them. We say down with teacher cuts down. Down. Today we don't just fight. I don't just fight for this province only, but I fight for every child in this country.
Yes. Yes.
Abantwana bethu were left behind during COVID. Let's not leave them behind now.
Yes.
When they need us most to catch up, why are we leaving them behind? We say down with cuts to teacher salaries down.
Yes.
I'm here to tell you, we don't just fight because we are powerless. We know things can change. We know that there's hope for our children. And I'm here to say, we don't just talk in jail. We protest here on Wales Street, but we also send a message to Parliament to say, rather than cut from our teachers, cut from the ministers.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Why should ministers be cruising around? You know, some of them didn't themselves finish school. Why do they want our children to also not finish school? Aibo. We are saying cut them. Cut the cabinet. Cut the cabinet so that we can employ more teachers. Cut more bodyguards to ministers so we can employ more teachers. Cut the blue light brigade so that we can employ more teachers. Amandla! You know, I want to tell you something. This is a strange thing. I was reading a report the other day. Ministers even get people who can go get them lunch. Did you know that? So I'm thinking, if they get people who can go get them lunch, why don't you cut those people so that we can feed our children? Where are your priorities, government? Because if our children are not educated, we are sending this simple 30th of October, they are going to be tabling a budget. It's called the midterm budget. We have one message and one message alone.
Yes.
To the Minister of Finance, and I sit in the portfolio committee, I will make sure I send this message to him on behalf of our people to say, Minister of Finance, you choose this day. Is it politicians or is it the people? Which do you want?
Yeah.
If you want more politicians who don't go to school, well, cut the budget to the teachers and you'll end up with a government of illiterates.
Yes.
We stand with the teachers today.
Yes.
I wish Satu was here. I want to send them a message. Rather than fighting all the things that you fight, let come join us in these protests so that we get more money for teachers.
Yes. Yes.
We have to unite on this issue. It's got no political partisanship. This is about the very future of South Africa. If apartheid cuts education, we can cut the budget to education. Let's rather fund more in education.
Yes.
I have a dream for our children.
Yes. Yes.
I want our children to be going to schools where classrooms are not bigger than 35. I want our children to have teachers who are not worried whether they are going to run out of money, but are free to teach in those classrooms.
Yes. Yes.
I want our schools to be world-class facilities where our children don't dream about the internet, but they live in the internet. I want to go to a school where every child, whether they are in Bishop's Court or Bishop Levy's, that the economy is the same, that they can know with freedom that ultimately their education is the same. Amandla! The size of your pocket cannot determine the quality of your education. Let us make it free, let us make it fair, let us make it equal, and let the government pay. Because if you pay for state capture and other things, pay for education. So today, on World Teachers Day, we are here to say one thing. Phambili ngotichara phambili. Let me close by saying this. My teacher, Sister Christina, when she was teaching Mmusi Maimane in primary school, if it wasn't for her, today I wouldn't be here. Because she took the time to say, let me force you to stay in school. She compensated for what was going on in the 80s by saying, Mmusi, stay in the classroom. I'm not here to defend teachers who do nonsense in classrooms.
Yes.
Those ones must go. But I am here for every teacher who wakes up every day saying, out of my hands will be the future of this country. I thank those teachers, and I want to say we need more, not less. And therefore this message, WTF, where is the funding? Let's put funding in education. Amandla!
Yes.
Amandla!
Yes.
When I close, I want to say to all the Bossa people who are here, tomorrow, the next generation will thank you.
Thank you.
Like they thanked the ones in 76.
Yes.
They will thank you for fighting for more teachers.
Thank you.
Even MEC Mania will thank you because he knows that without your fight, they can't hire more teachers. I want to thank you for fighting for education because you are not just for your own children, but for children of others who could not be here today.
Yes.
You are the ones who, instead of others fighting their own side battles, you are fighting for the future of this country. Ndiyabulela enkosi, we love you all. Let's keep fighting. Ningadinwa, because the future of this country is dependent on you. Amanda! Amanda!
morning to everybody here today. Today we're here standing in front of the offices of the Western Cape Legislature because we understand that the issue of education is not just about now, it's about the future.
Yeah.
We stand here today because our children have suffered enough.
Yes.
We have schools that already don't have the resources that our children need. We have schools where already we have challenges with overcrowding in classrooms. We have schools where already there are children who are not receiving not just the education but the support that they need in terms of the food that they need and everything they need in order to be able to survive in school. And so we stand today as Bosa saying no to the teachers' cuts, no to the cutting of jobs for teachers. I see in this crowd that there's a lot of mothers and grandmothers as well. And the pain that you have as somebody who gave birth to children, when you can see that their future is being compromised, I know is what brings the women here today. As a mother, my only hope is that my children will have the opportunity to not just study, but also go on to thrive and have an education that will help them to thrive in this country and throughout the world if that's what they choose. And that's why we're here to fight today. We're fighting for the future of the children of this country. So as Build One SA, we stand today and we say we are opposed to the cutting of the budget for education. We stand here today and I want to specifically speak to the Minister of Basic Education, Sviwe Khwarube, and say we will support you in your resistance of the education cuts. We are behind you as you resist the education cuts. I also want to say that the education system as a whole needs attention from you, Minister, and we will support you as you change the things that need to change in our education system to make it better for our children. We will support you as you have pledged to eradicate the trains in schools. We will support you if you do the work of changing the curriculum from 30% to 50% so that our children have a future. There is nobody who is trying to hire somebody who has passed with 30%. There is no future for children who are told they can leave school in grade 9. And so we will support you as you change the school leaving certificate that now allows children to leave school after grade 9. We will support you as you scrap that school leaving certificate of grade 9 because we want children who have a future. And lastly, I want to say, Minister, we will support you as you ensure that there is a teacher's audit to make sure that teachers have the right skills to be able to teach our children. And we will support you as you make sure that instead of overcrowding in classrooms, you ensure that we are creating jobs for the many qualified unemployed teachers that we have in our country today. We will further support you as you continue to create jobs from the many young people who are here, who want to serve in the education sector and become teachers tomorrow. We will support you as you create more jobs to them and make sure that there are teachers' colleges for those young people. Our stand here today is about not just today, like I said when we started. It is about the future of this country. It is about making sure that the 30 million learners that are in this country are being set up for success. We cannot sit and wait for somebody to save us. We have to save ourselves. We have to take our children with us and make sure that we are creating a country, a province that will help us to thrive in the future. And it starts with making sure that they have a good education. And so we say no to the cutting of teachers' jobs. Phansi!